Good evening, good afternoon, or good morning, depending from where you're watching us from. This is Oscar, your host, and with me is Omer. And tonight, we'll be watching K-Championship Knockout 5. Omer, how are you doing?
Doing great, Oscar. Thank you for asking. Yesterday was also a night full of e-sailing, and tonight is the same. So that's exactly how we like it. We have some fun, 5 fun races ahead of us, and it will be fast and fun.
Yep, you're gonna see some recognizable names that you've seen racing yesterday, racing again tonight. It's exactly as you said, 5 races in total, so 4 races with all the players that you see on your screen, and then a medal race counting double points just with the top 4, and the last race, and it's going to be 5 races in the Flying 75 in this K Championship. Knockout 5. Fifth out of 20 in total, with the grand final happening in December as we hit 20 seconds before the players can cross the start line. Flying 75 is not a boat that we've seen in the e-sailing World Championship, but it's a boat that will be regularly used in the K Championship. It's a foiling boat, very fast boat, one of the fastest with the F50 in this course with the boundaries. And Azamin, hello there. Hello there to you too. Hope you're doing well. As we see some false start here by Vary, by Das Boots. Lorenzo picking up a penalty as well, and Chris 1707 rooting for twin wakes all the way. The British sailor that maybe I've seen once or twice. So good to see him more often in these kind of finals, and obviously we're gonna be rooting for the underdog. And I see Breast Power over there hitting the boundary, so he's going to be slowed down for 10 seconds with the Flying 75. That can be quite penalizing.
Yeah, it was a costly risk. I got over at the boundaries, but even a few meters that you gain at the boundaries will help you to catch the next shift. So that's why they're pushing it so much to come back again and cross over the fleet with a shift. But sometimes that's not the case, and that's why Breast Power got penalized in this situation.
Yep, unfortunate penalty for him. Kazuki here approaching that top mark. He's going to cross path with Jozu, who's going to have to duck down. And let's Gyansuluk and Kazuki pass as Jozu rounds the mark. Taking the right one was the correct choice. I think both marks are pretty much at the same level. So it's all about the wind shifts.
Exactly, that's it. That's about the wind shifts and the following the dark spots. But at the moment, it's right in the center and shifting a bit towards the left. But the leading group now, they're not in the dark spot and they're slowing down, and the back of the fleet are catching up on them. Because this boat can accelerate really fast.
Yep, we see Kazuki here. He was hitting 40 plus knots.
Exactly, it's probably the fastest boat on the game after F50.
Oh, I think it actually rivals with the F50. I'm not sure actually. I'll have to do a speed comparison with the polars of each of the boats, but definitely one of the fastest in the game. Though very different than the F50.
I think it has a top speed between 40 and 50 miles. Yeah, it's quite similar.
But contrary to the F50, it's slow turning boats.
Yeah, exactly. The maneuvers are quite demanding.
And so we'll see what happens here. And the fact that there's the boundaries, the fleets are going to be crossing path quite regularly, as Kazuki is still in the lead. Sorry, with Gyansuluk in second this time. It's going to be them. We're going to have to duck down with Jozuts when Gyansuluk crosses paths with him, though actually he manages to sail right above him. And this is going to be the final downwind of this first race. Kazuki still in the lead.
Exactly, he's saying catch me if you can at the moment, because it's not gonna be possible. It's just sailing over 45 knots,
Yeah,
and the
and
finish line
we
is
see
right
actually
there.
exactly we see those on the right over there. They had a darker wind zone, so we're going 5 knots faster than Gensruk on the left. So Gensruk managed to keep his second spot so far. He's going to be tacking at the ley line over here, and it's going to be close between him and Josuts, but I think Gensruk, having one less tack to do, might take it. As Kazuki crosses the finish line, first. Gyansuluk in second, Josuts in third. And we're going to have the confirmation of the ranking very shortly as they cross the finish line. Breast Power closing the march.
Yeah, they're already placing themselves by the comedy boat. Because the wind indicators are showing a right shift at the moment.
Yep. So just for those of you watching, Black Boat with the red rose is the British Twin Wakes, so we'll be following him for the start. No pressure.
So you want to stay close to the committee here and get a clean starboard start, because then when you go to the ley line and the borders, when you're attacking, the boat is gonna slow down immensely, so they'll catch up on you, and that's why you will get penalized.
Yep. First final for Twin Wakes. It's the first one in the K Championship, but I'm wondering if he didn't do a knockout in the East World Championship. Looks like he didn't, so it actually could be the first final for Twin Wakes.
Yeah, good luck to Twin Wakes then.
Indeed. As I think Josu's here, I thought he touched the committee, but apparently it wasn't that. And we see 4 false starts again. Looks like the false starts are tricky here for the flying. Well, with the flying 75 for these players. Breast Power taking the lead in the middle here, right next to Kazuki and Yuko on the left. Meanwhile, on the right, it's going to be Japan 985, Lorenzo, and I'm missing one. That Mimi's over here. Well, Twin Wakes actually. And we see a very weird wind on the course.
Yeah, the patterns are quite unusual, and it's a boat that loves the wind to accelerate and to get on the foils.
Yeah, well, we see here Breast Power and Mimi, they were going at 34 plus knots and now dropping almost under 30, while they were in the no wind area as they pick up again in the darker patch. Breast Power
The changes
tacking,
can
Mimi
happen
tacking as
quickly.
well. Yep. And they're going to be crossing paths with Josuts and Kazuki. Will Mumi manage to do it in one tack only? Looks like he won't. Breast Power
Again, a
might
big
have tacked
shift.
slightly early and now is in a difficult position trying to avoid other boats taking the penalty here. 13, that means that he was actually in a maneuver. And while you're doing a maneuver, you have to make sure that you give room to the other boats, which is why he was the one penalized.
Yeah. Exactly, this is how this can change in this race in blink of an eye. Like, he was in the first spot, he was fighting for the leadership, but now just one big shift and he's almost in the last spot.
That means that if someone in front actually does the same, it'll be an opportunity for him to get back in it. Twin Wakes currently in third, so fighting for a place on the podium with Japan 985 and Yuko coming in on the right. Josuts rounding the first, downwind gate first and tacking immediately. Mumi's gonna wait a few seconds before tacking Yuko in third as Twin Wakes gets the advantage above Japan 985. Nuzets, nice to see you in the chat. Well done, Josu.
Twin Wakes doing a clean race, actually. As we're following him in the start, he didn't take a great risk. he was staying behind the other boats and he didn't try to squeeze in between others to have a clean start.
Well,
But
he's
then
neck and neck
he's
now
still
here
in the
with
leading.
yeah.
Exactly.
Well, neck and neck with the leader of the first race, Kazuki. But it's Muimui and Jozu who are leading this race over here. Muimui arrived fourth in the fourth in the first race, and Jozu arriving third in that first race. As Jozu's here, we see him tacking. Looks like Muimui is going to be the one taking the lead after this, with Lorenzo very close behind. We see here a penalty by on breast power by, was that Twin Wakes or Kazuki? I think it was Kazuki. So well, breast power, you saw him first at the first upwind gate, taking a penalty. Now he's back in fifth, and unfortunately took another penalty here.
Yeah, this was quite a difficult position he was in because doing double tacks with these giant sailing boats, it's not as easy as you do in Ilka or 49er. They're heavy
Indeed.
boats and they need to foil to have speed and maneuver rapidly.
So I was looking at Lorenzo on the left over here and comparing his speed to Muimui and Jozu, but Muimui just had too much lead for Lorenzo to catch up. So Lorenzo is going to be content. Well, is going to contend for third. Kazuki in fourth. Let's switch to the back, see what's happening here with Gansu Luc. As we see a good start from Muimui and Josutz and Lorenzo. So, but we went from 18 knots in average of wind in the previous race, and we're going to 27 knots average for this race.
That is some speed, Oscar. It's gonna be fun. So
Well,
this race, would you like to follow anyone on the fleet?
Well, let's see. We had Kazuki, Muimui, Josutz in first, Lorenzo in fourth, and Gansu Luc in fifth, tied with Twin Wakes Yuko. Let's see. Let's follow a bit of Gansu Luc, see if he can manage to reach that top four. He is just 5 points behind the top four. Gansu Luc is that purple-ish boat in the middle. 20 seconds to go. As the boats will line, it looks like we have two groups, one close to the pin end, already very close to the start line, and the other gathering speed starting from the Komitsu boat. Looks like we have another false start here by Twin Wakes. Gansu Luc taking a 13. 13 is when you are doing a maneuver and not leaving enough room or time for the others to react before a collision. So Gansu Luc is going to take this right side, going to attack over here in this wind pressure, arriving on starboard, so he has the advantage over other boats. Das Boot here takes the penalty, not ducking down to let Gansu Luc pass. It looks like breast power, Lorenzo, and the rest of the fleet up there, Josutz, Kazuki, Muimui, have found a good puff. Breast power cruising at 42 plus knots.
Yeah, he's in a really good position. He has control on every boat now. There's no risk coming for him if he manages to run the mark cleanly.
Yeah, well, no boats in his immediate surroundings, so and he's on the right, so he has the advantage. Decides to tack over Lorenzo here. Lorenzo is going to slow down to avoid any collisions and any unnecessary penalties, as breast power takes the lead for this first downwind. Josutz right next to Lorenzo, and I see a couple of penalties behind. I saw 3. Muimui is one of them, and Gansu Luc is another. Let's get back to the fronts with Lorenzo, breast power, and Jozu.
It looks like they're gonna run the same mark,
Yep.
but let's see if they'll continue sailing in the same tack. But no, Lorenzo's going to the right, and I would have done the same because you can see the dark spots over there. You have more wind. Let's see if they have any speed difference.
Yeah, he was going slightly faster than Burst Power. Burst Power is starting to catch up, but Lorenzo is still 0.5 knots faster.
Exactly.
And this boat being a foiling boat also means that the wind shadow is always going to be behind the boat, since the boat is faster than the wind.
Yeah, it's quite close, but not enough to put himself in front of Trap Breast Power, the Frenchie for now.
Yeah.
And Josu's, by the way, coming in as well.
Breast Power is going to have to tack again, and he's going to be on port side. With Lorenzo coming in into the zone. Watch out for the penalties. Breast Power manages to sneak in still.
Too close. Breast Power got lucky. Actually, he could have got penalized in that position.
Looks like it's gonna be Breast Power, Lorenzo, and Josuts for our podium for this race. And who is behind him is the Japanese Kazuki, currently in fourth.
Again, it's a mixed result, so it's gonna shake up the ranking all over again. It looks like that.
And then it's gonna be a tight finish between Mui Vari, the Polish Dust Boots, in ninth, but Japan 985 coming here. Twin Wakes, taking a penalty, is going to be the one closing the march. And we see Alcalá here supporting Breast Power. And here we have the final ranking for race number 3.
Yeah.
Basically,
Breast Power
only
and Yuko will be fighting over that last spot.
Basically, only Breast Power and Yuko can make it. As start signal has been given, we're going to switch over to the race scene. Who should we follow at the start?
If viewers don't choose anyone, I can suggest Das Boot, the Hungarian sailor.
Let's
You're
follow
getting used
Das
to see
Boot.
him now on the big finals and knockouts.
Black boat with the ninja skin, ninja sticker. Das Boot currently 9th, tied with Twin Wakes at 24 points.
Yeah, they're just now getting their space and waiting to accelerate, and no one's pushing each other at the moment, because when you're luffing and heading over to the wind, it's gonna slow down, and maneuvering will be really hard for this boat. They're just taking their time and will accelerate in the last few seconds, because this boat can accelerate really rapidly.
As we see Das Boot's a bit late compared to the other boats, currently in 8th, and it's going to tack towards the right.
Yeah, he's going where the wind is.
Yeah, Yuko is in first on the left, and Breast Power is in first on the right.
Yeah.
Lorenzo here tacking, well, not tacking, sailing just above Yuko, who's going to have to duck down to avoid Mui coming in and the rest of the fleet. Is he going to keep sailing or is he going to tack? Looks like he's going to keep sailing.
They're just all trying to go to the right hand side because the wind and the shift is over there at the moment, so they're just tacking and tacking. They're doing zigzags to stay in the wind at the right hand side.
As we're going to see Breast Power here tacking or reaching Josuts. Breast Power taking the penalty from, I think that was that Das Boot?
To 2 penalties now for Josu and Breast Power.
And Despoot taking
And
himself the
Despoot is
penalty. A
in
lot
the
of
lead.
penalties here, though. That means that we completely changed the leaders of the race by rounding this gate over here, and Kazuki is going to take the lead. Followed by Yuko in the purple boat, though on the left we have Japan 985, followed by Twin Wakes. We see 3 of them, Despoot, Barry, and
Yes.
Gansurik going on the right to follow that ley line and stay within that ley line on the right.
Some
lead
aggressive
line.
sailing by Despoot. He just penalized Mui Mui.
As Kazuki is the one reaching the bottom gate first for the last upwind. There's going to be one last downwind before heading into the medal races. It's going to take us just a couple extra minutes to tally up the scores, give out the roles and the instructions to join the medal race. But it is still close here. Lorenzo in third, but going 0.3 knots faster than Kazuki. As he is now going to reach an empty zone of wind dropping down to 13, 14 knots of wind in this area. As he tacks over Kazuki, tacking slightly after. Yuko in the purple boat as well. Looks like in the top 4 we have 3 Japanese. FSC Kazuki deciding to go on the mark on the right. It is slightly lower, maybe by a couple of meters. Lorenzo deciding to stick on the left. It's going to be a tight finish between these 2 players.
Yeah, that was close. I think Kazuki is doing a good job staying in the wind and using the best of speed, but Lorenzo's coming in starboard, so it's gonna be dancing till the finish line.
Yeah, and I think Lorenzo might have it. Yep. Lorenzo is going to take it. Kazuki is going to be in second. What's happening behind? Here, we're looking at Very and Twin Wakes. And we're back in just 40 seconds. We will be heading towards the medal race. So overall ranking, let's go over it again. Lorenzo and Kazuki tied at first place with 11 points. Josu's in third with 13 points. Mui in fourth with 15 points. And then we would want to quickly shout out Yuko, Breast Power, Gansurik, Despoot, Twin Wakes, Japan 985, and Vari. Tight races. Unfortunately, these are not the ones who will be competing in the medal race. The medal race is going to be the top 4 in just 15 seconds. And I agree, Chris. Hopefully, we will see more of Twin Wakes in the future. It was his first final. So we'll see. And I'll be asking those of you watching us, if you had to pick one player between these 4 to win the medal race, who would it be? And Mallorca, nice to see you in the chat as well. As I see RG Tyler also congratulating Lorenzo for his previous race. It's going to be very tight here. We have 2 ties. So Lorenzo and Kazuki tied with 11 points. Josu's is just 2 points behind. And Mui is 4 points behind. So anyone can still win. And Chris 1707 is going to say that. Yeah.
Because it's almost 2 boats length in this case.
And Chris 1707 is going to predict a Italian win from Lorenzo. 1 Italian, 1 Spanish, and 2 Japanese in the top 4. So a bit late compared to the rest, Lorenzo, but he's going to attack immediately onto port.
Perfect start by Kazuki, by the way. He just controlled the situation really well, placed himself just over the ley line, close to the pin end, and a clean start. But now there's a big right shift coming, so he's hurrying up to go there and have the control over the fleet.
As Lorenzo here is going to attack onto starboard, unfortunately, he looks like he's going to be passing still behind Josutz and Muimi. Josutz deciding to tack right next to Lorenzo. These two boats are very close. That's going to give an edge to the two Japanese. And Chris 1707, who's the other 4 finalists in the K Championship final. I will tell you that in just a second in the order. So in knockout 1, it was the Spanish Nozet Acosta winning. Knockout 1. Knockout 2 was won by the French Acer. Knockout 3 was won by the French Shadow Sail, and Knockout 4 was won by the Japanese FC Rich. So 1 Spanish, 2 French, and 1 Japanese so far for the grand finals, and we might have a second Japanese joining FC Rich. It's Kazuki sailing almost perfectly so far.
Yeah, now he doesn't have anything much to stress about at the moment. He knows the race course. He knows which mark to run, and he can follow the and analyze the wind shifts correctly. Unless we jinx it, it looks like it's gonna be a victory for Kazuki on this race.
Yep,
and again,
it's gonna be hard to
reminding
catch
that
up.
it's double points. So if you're behind the fleet, that will affect you in double time.
Yeah, well, Kazuki was first overall, tied with Lorenzo with 11 points. So if he's arriving first, also in the medal race, it's game over for the others, I guess. Though the race is not finished, we see Muimi having to bear away to let Lorenzo pass to avoid the penalty. And Lorenzo managed to go a bit higher and use a bit of more of that wind pressure, going 2 knots faster than Kazuki. Is this going to be enough? I'm not sure. There are still a 140 meter difference between the two players.
It was not enough, but he really catched up here. It was more than 250 meters of distance, and now it's less than 150 meters of distance between top 3 players. As you can see again in the minimap, we have different patterns of the dark spots and gusts coming in. Some of them are outside of the borders and some of them are in, so they shouldn't be catched up with the illusion with the gusts in the on outside of the border.
And well, we do have Josutz alone on the left, but I think we have the order as we see it on the ranking. Maybe a fight for third between Josutz and Muimi. But Kazuki and Lorenzo are going to take first and second.
Joseph coming in starboard. If you see a collision, it will be Muimi who's getting the penalty. Let's see.
Looks like Josu is the one taking third and Muimi is going to take fourth. We're going to go over the ranking again. It's Kazuki in first with 13 points. Lorenzo in second with 15 points. Josutz in third with 19 points. Muimi in fourth with 23 points. These are high-level players. It's just rare for them to make mistakes. I will call the race now. And Chris 1707, thank you for being there as well. Thank you for the stream, Seth knows it. It's a pleasure. Hope you've enjoyed it as well. I think it's going to be time for us to wrap it up. Well done to Kazuki, our 5th grand finalist in the K Championship. It was a consistent sailing from him throughout the whole final. So first, fourth, second, and second. Congratulations to Lorenzo, Josutsu, and Mumi's was very tight until the end, but that last race with Kazuki was just perfect from start to finish. So thank you, Omer, as well for hosting this with me tonight. And
It was my pleasure, Oscar, as always.
I am going to wish you all a nice evening, a nice day, or a nice afternoon, depending from where you are. And we'll see you all next time. K Challenge 6 is going to be open at midnight UTC, and so just in 1 hour and 15 minutes. So we'll have another knockout next Sunday for that one. So yeah, thank you, Omer, for being here with me. Thank you all for watching. This was Oscar, your host with Omer, and we'll see you all next time.
Yeah, see you, everyone.
Bye.